Welcome. This is Simeon Ambergy with PraiseTracks.com. We're going to kind of go through some of IK Multimedia's newest library expansions for SampleTank. Just as this is the Mark V in Elektromagnetik, and then we're just going to kind of look through some of that. We're just going to go through two expansion libraries, Elektromagnetik and CINEKINETIK. So all of these Ks, and I guess if your company's IK Multimedia, you're going to use a lot of Ks in your products here. So yeah, we just get warmed up. Okay, so let's just get into talking about Elektromagnetik. You can get them separately or as a special promotion for $99.99. So the whole package comes with the C70, Yamaha C70 Electric Grand, Mark V Rhodes, of course, piano bass, and then a Wurlitzer. And so let's just kind of go with this. So with the SampleTank 4, to get just the patches that you want to listen to, we're going to go down and just click on the stage 73 Mark V, and that way it'll only show those patches. So I've got it on chorus 1. And you see these effects are just straight out of it looks like Mixbox, and that is another great effects package from IK Multimedia. The Mixbox is just wonderful. And the Mark V Rhodes was actually the last, I guess it's the last CBS, when CBS took over Fender and Rhodes. This was actually the last Rhodes that Harold Rhodes, the inventor of the piano, was overseeing the design for. And so it includes a lot of the advancements that have been added to the Rhodes over the years. And so this has just got his signature all over it as well. And this is a little different than the famous E piano that I reviewed earlier. It's the Mark V instead of I guess it's a Stage 73 was the E piano. So they've got different characteristics. It's funny, I'll be doing one piano review after another on acoustic grands, and all of a sudden now we're switched to electric pianos and Rhodes. So I think it's kind of interesting, the trends. So I'm just going to play this a little bit more. Here we go. And you've got macro knobs that you can adjust different EQ positions and the effects, that type of thing. I just love the chorus. So here we go. Such a nice tone to it. So let's go ahead and pick up some more. So you've got hard. Neiman, it's good to see you. Great to see you guys. Okay, now this, the hard sound, it automatically, you just hear it go voom right there in the center. It kind of, the stereo spread is a little bit narrower. It's just sitting right there. And that right there, that chord right there, that tends to be one that I love, I go to a lot. So if I'm in C, I'll play a C7 in the left hand and open, and then I'll play an A chord in the top, and that gives you that nice, I just love that sound. Yeah, so any key that you're in, you play like a 7th in the left hand, and then you just play that chord down the 3rd, and you've got that magic that happens there. Very cool. So that hard, yeah, it's just got a little more aggressive dynamic. Okay, now let's just jump right here to the soft, and now let's hear a difference. Yeah, you hear the difference with that. And it makes you play a little bit differently. So what the wrench review had mentioned is being able to layer some things. So I layered like a chamber string. And so you can just layer up to 16 parts here. So what I'm going to do, let's just see if we can find a pad. Let's see, synth pad. It's all about fun and experimentation, and I apologize for the. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is kind of like a pulsing pad. Let me just solo the pad. It's kind of got a stringy and a pulsing thing going on there. And you layer that with that Rhodes. That's pretty cool. Yeah, thanks for suggesting that, because it's in those times of experimenting. And then, you know, SampleTank 4 is just very powerful. It does have a lot of powerful potential, because you have this, you can just go ahead and do these splits, and you can layer and split things across the keyboard, across all 16. You know, you can add up to 16 different sounds in here. And let's just look at a couple more of these electric pianos in the Rhodes category. And if it's your first time here, you know, make sure you subscribe and click the like. That always helps us so much. Okay, so this one was recorded to tape. So you get some really interesting saturation and that type of thing. Very cool. The thing about the Rhodes that I love is that you've got the real beautiful bell sound, those textures. Or you can just lay into it. And it just barks. I love the barking of the Rhodes. I love the tape thing. And then you can always mess around with all of these amazing effects, be able to save your own presets. Yeah, so you've got phasers. Oh, wow, let's see. That kind of sounds like Top Gun, just like, I don't know. You know, Will, they do take different approaches in their sampling, and I'm finding with the newer instruments that they really are going deeper in what they're doing. Like with this Rhodes, this is just this Rhodes by itself is 1.2 gig, just this sound. So I'm thinking that they really are trying to improve how many like the dynamic layers and that type of thing. But I even find that some of the older SampleTank sounds still hold up, even though they were smaller in size. You know, they've just got different, you know, different DNA, different philosophies that they use. So what I say is that if it sounds good, it is good, I guess. Contact itself is just another beast entirely. I just love that phaser, just gives it a really cool sound. This is phaser 2, and yeah. I do notice that the attacks are a little bit different, and I think it's because the different pianos. I guess, you know, when they were making these Rhodes, every one of them were a little bit different. So the physicality and the mechanics just embody a different personality for each piano. Very different textures. You're going to get different textures with SampleTank, because of the engine and the processing. Oh, okay. So what they did here, the timed samples from D#2 to F#2 were removed to give this a vintage sound. Let's just listen to see, to hear. Yeah. So this is not as bell-like as, because they took some of that out. It's just got that grit that's very good. Let's go to the piano bass. And the piano bass is a really interesting instrument. It's just the lower octaves of the Rhodes to really give you that enhanced bass sound. And I think the guy from the Doors, Ray Manzarek, I think he actually had one of these on top of, so he could have this bass texture here. So let's just pull up just the basic. You just have these octaves down here. So it just is designed to give you a fatter sound. We can, yeah, that Riders on the Storm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just got a really, really funky sound to it. Yeah, so when you have all of these unique textures, it really makes it fun. So they're running through the chorus there. So they're not synthesizers. So they have to run the signal out from these electric pianos, these physical instruments, into amps and different processed effects. And that's what makes it so cool. So this is going to be going through it like a digital delay. Okay. So very interesting characteristics here. Okay, so let's go on to the Wurlitzer. The Wurlitzer is kind of it's similar to the Rhodes. It uses the same kind of electromechanical thing, but it uses reeds, like metal reeds instead of the metal tines, which really give it a different sound than the Rhodes. Very different characteristic. So let's see. Okay, so this is going through like a preamp. There's just so much, and but there's the Wurlitzer. It just has that distinctive sound for sure. You've got to always you've got to always play the logical song. Just the grit, just that grit of, so let's just pull up the wah. Yeah, so you've got a cool wah-wah pedal. Let's MIDI learn this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just assigned it to my CC11 there. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. So let's go to the Yamaha electric Grand. This Grand really brings back a lot of memories because it was like one of the first electric pianos or electric pianos that I played in a session when I was like still in high school for, I was traveling with our church quartet, and I was the piano player. It was just a really interesting experience. Now, it doesn't sound like a grand piano, but it's got a very distinctive sound. Merrick, it's good to see you. Welcome to the stream. We're just having a lot of fun. Austin, thank you for that. Now listen to that. Okay, now You're right. Wrench, that's the characteristic that I'm hearing too. It's just, it's not tinny sounding, and then with it being inside of the, that case, well, I've got such a long way to go to make it to the border of Mexico. So I ride like the wind to be free again. Yeah, I love that. So you've just got, it is the night. But see, that's here again, we're going to those the sounds that trigger the memories. Yeah, you know what the thing is about the CP70 is the pickups. The pickups are kind of I guess panned, and you have control over the pickup zones. So you can actually kind of shape those a little bit. So let's just check out one of the chorus. So yeah, they're using all of these pickups. Yeah, now the chorus is gonna really just spread that out more. And look here, we have like a piano resonance plugin that we can shape some of the tone. You know, I would love to create a progression course, but the problem is that I forget sometimes what I'm playing and how to translate that, because it's all just jammed up here. And sound is what brings it out. I like having that nice stereo imaging there. Yeah, the chorus and having this, if you look there at that piano resonance, that's just adding a nice warmth, and then you've got the EQs that are doing some things. Wow. Okay, so let's just go to dark, and I love having these nice presets available. You know, the CP70 is not very bite. It doesn't have a lot of bite as much as it has a nice bark to it. You know what? I am not sure, Austin, about trial versions. I think on some they do have trial periods. I'm not sure if they do on these. That would be nice. That would definitely be nice. So let's go, that was the dark. Let's go to the haunted and see what they've done with this. Oh, wow. So it's like a piano warped inside of a haunted house. What Wrench said earlier about the snap, that snap in that low end. And you can go under the hood a little bit and see some more of what they're doing. So now let's go, well, let's do this slam. Let's just check a couple more of these. Okay, yeah. Now that brings back a lot of memories because Leon Patillo, he used to be with Santana, and then he went out on his own, and he had a CP70 in the middle of the stage with a mini Moog on top, and to the left, well, let's see, yeah, to the left of him, he had an Oberheim system before MIDI was even was even there, and he did a one-man concert. He had like the Oberheim drum machines and the Matrix, you know, the Oberheim Matrix 12, just sitting up there, and he was doing all this live, and he just, it was just inspirational to me. Dance, children, dance under me. And he just had that groove, and that's what brings that back. There's nothing like there's nothing like that that groove. I think that you know, a lot of the music today, everything is on the grid so much, and it's taken a lot of the I guess the soul out of a lot of things that we're talking about. A lot of this music that we're hearing, everything just locked to a grid somehow, and but that's what makes like the music that really touched our lives, touched my life, was that it was just, they just played. They were just playing and in the moment. Like, you know, there's no, you can't put Stevie Wonder on a grid because once you do, it just takes the life out of everything. So it's good to have a little bit of push and pull sometimes when you're playing, or when you're playing with other people. That's what happens when you're playing with a band. You're pushing and pulling, depending on the drummer how much he pushes or pulls. But it's just so wonderful to just have that life. And if they capture these instruments like they should, then it's communicated that way. So let's go to CINEKINETIK. CINEKINETIK is just taking things out of the traditional space and more into sound design. And so we've got the Shipwrecked piano, Fractured piano, Malletopia, and Malletension. And so let's take a look at the Shipwrecked piano. Okay, no, the Shipwrecked piano is like an upright that they've just really went through and did a lot of processing. And so let's load up some of that. So this is just the initial Shipwrecked piano patch. Very processed. So let's see, where are we gonna go? is, because you can, you just start feeling that watery, I guess that watery quality, if that's a word. You just sense that whatever they're doing with the layers. Let's just look at the, that's what I'm talking about with this. Yeah, this is great, and I think this is exactly what this library, the CINEKINETIK with the K, is after, and that's just the first. That's just the initial patch. That's why you kind of get lost in that, just hearing all those complex textures. Yeah, it's just amazing. So let's go to Shipwreck Piano Dark. It's all of those textures and other things that are in there. Now, this, if you see here, it's 2.5 gigs. So that's what we were talking about earlier, that IK is really, with these expansion libraries, they've got a little more, I guess, meat to them. It's just a lot of space. And again, we have that very interesting, you know, washing and shipwreck, and that's really cool that they called it that, because it actually gives you the feeling that they've dropped that into that that immersive environment. Yeah, so that's dark. So let's go to Shipwreck Mellow. Shipwreck piano. See here again, the upright sound is just a very interesting sound. Oh, this is interesting. So this is the quantum piano. So this is like using the quantum room space. That's what they call it here. And like all of the, make sure you check out the links in the description. So this is a huge cathedral-like decay, just a very large room sound. Very cool. And then the macro knobs down here, you've got the tone for the bright. You can shape the lid, the quantum room. Now let's just take, yeah, you can adjust the time on that and the mix. Just having those controls there make it so much easier. That's really cool. And just having these effects just bring things, it almost sounds like a pad when you're coming up. All of the diffusions from the reverb just kind of come together very beautifully. Okay, now this has a pad attached to it. It's got a synth pad along with it, and I love pulling up this rack. It's like a Euro rack type of effects. Oh yeah. I think I think the CINEKINETIK, if you already have a lot of like electromechanical pianos, if you don't have a lot of electromechanical pianos, then of course the electromagnetic is a great package to have. But this is a little unique. Okay, yeah, I've got a star besides this one. So this is Swell Pad Dark. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So this again, they've taken the piano and they've shifted it and made some really cool things. Wow. You know what? You can get the CINEKINETIK and it'll load in the SampleTank free player. You can do that. Oh yeah. Just a very icy. So there's just so much here. So this is just the recording of the upright by itself. With all the atmospheres turned off. So that's without all of those atmospheric layers. So I've got the soft, that is nice. Very nice piano. Let's go to fractured piano. It's like, reminds me of Rocky and Bullwinkle, the fractured fairy tales. So this is fractured piano. Now, let me show you something that I discovered with fractured piano. When I was looking into this, and here we go. Look at this. Now, this is a Bösendorfer that was recorded in Vienna. And it's a prepared piano library. Okay, so this is gonna be some unusual things here. So they've taken this Bösendorfer and really they call it piano howlings, I guess. And with some mellotron voices. And you've got a really cool tape echo. So this is getting into some really bizarre territory. Now this is using the piano with the felt treatment on there, but it's like a synth. So they've really heavily processed this. And that synth just kind of comes right in there. So this is using like mallet and no, it's a plucked. So this is really crazy. So they're plucking the strings on that. Okay, Bounty Hunters. And you can do the mod wheel. Controls the filters. That's crazy. That's crazy. So this is just using an auto pan to just, yeah, you see that mod wheel affects that. And just swimming around. So that's just going down. Oh my gosh, Electrified Piano Doom. Oh my goodness. So you've got, yeah, you've got the Leslie in here, the rotary. Creating those spaces. And I think they've even put a chain, like a chain on the piano. Yeah, yeah. So you hear that chain bouncing on there. So let's just check out just a couple more of these. Felt piano again. Lo-fi chase piano. And yeah, this is using the chain. Just real gritty and punchy. And I like the little Easter egg, the Space Invaders here with the big crusher. Yeah. Just full of grit and crunch and all of that crazy stuff. Mothers of the Belt, just, now that's kind of a cool thing. That's really cool. Percussive and Electrified. I see these titles here and it just makes me want to click on them and check them out. Just really kind of really cool and percussive. So let's check out one of these piano howlings here. Oh, wow. Okay. So somebody is actually singing into the piano and resonating that. So you hear them doing different vowel sounds. Now I've never heard a sound like that before. And you can hear the round robins kind of going through the different vowels as you're. A couple of different. Very cool. Now this is the third. A lot of flanging and stuff going on. So that's a really unique sound for me. Poseidon waves, and then that chain. Just really kind of tight. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, and let's see what they've got. Yeah, they've got this really interesting plate sound. That's what I'm. And this envelope flanger is giving you those dynamic things going on as well. Okay, Space Lounge. And here we go again with some more of those. And so this, you can see the keys here. It's just concentrating on these lower notes. So they place this metal bar on top of the strings, so that's what you're hearing bouncing on. That modulation wheel just does some different things. So this is using the felt samples, if you can believe that. Wow. That's really nice. And one of the reasons they call it CINEKINETIK is because they have Malletopia and Malletension. Now, Malletopia is going to be cleaner and brighter chromatic percussion instruments, and Malletension is going to be the more processed. So let's get some happy Glockenspiels. Yeah, I like. Yeah, it's a lot better. So just how beautiful and crisp that is. So they've played these with brass and aluminum mallets, and that gives you that Very crisp sound here. Modulation effects. The macro knobs give you the controls over this, the X cloud, where they just diffuse all of these things. Really cool. So look at all these, just with the Glockenspiel. So now this is played with wooden mallets, and you hear the different, the overtones are different. It's a little softer overtone when you're playing with those wooden mallets. Okay, so we've got some marimbas here. Okay, we're right about a gig. So that's really nice. So metal mallets and in a hall, and this is a lot tighter sound here. Like in a neutral studio, like a dry studio. Very nice. So they give you, you know, these choices where, you know, you have it recorded in a big hall or in a tight space to make it dry or. That's a cool sound. So we've got Glockenspiels, marimbas. So the mallets are yarn mallets. So that gives a very dull, very muted tone. Very cool. Okay, let's go check the orchestral chimes. Malletopia is the pure and clean. That is really nice. Very nice. X chimes, chimes with these very cool processed effects. So they've taken a very pure sample of the chimes and they just ran it through all of these amazing processes. And then got some vibraphones here. I just think it's really cool. They give you all of these different things, and you know, they play them with different materials, metal and yarn. I think the yarn is interesting because it just gives you that soft attack. And then we've got a tremolo going on here. To me, that feels like more of a Celeste because I'm playing it like a key, you know, not just doing with the mallet. Very cool. The tremolo effect really makes that nice. And the yarn, again, the yarn mallets just make it soft, almost like a felt type of thing. And then xylophone. So this is played with wood mallets. And it's really cool discovering these different sounds, how different materials of the mallets cause the sound to be a little bit different. And again, you know, the effects are a big star of the show because it just gives you that extra flexibility to take those core sounds and take them even further. So very nice. So let's just, now mallet tension is just the opposite of what Malletopia is. See what I mean? Just crushed it. So sometimes you might need something like that. Oh my goodness. Process samples. Okay, now we got that auto pan I'm seeing. It's just like slow that rate down on that auto pan. Just kind of immerses you in that. And you hear the nice pads and it's kind of processed. Kitchen pots and pans. And this is from the Tubular Bells. I think that is really cool. They've really messed up these chimes with this. Okay, so this is the marimba going into what they call a steam room, heavily processed. And those reverbs have a Those reverbs have such depth to them. Marimba caster, oh my goodness. A marimba wave folded into a Strat-like guitar. Yeah, so they took it and folded it and having the Malletopia and the mallet tension is a really cool thing because you get the best of both worlds. Yeah, so somebody's at the door. Yeah, and so yeah, so the reverbs are fantastic. Very nice and clear. This was Crystal Pachinko with just those mallets and filtered. So, man. And here's some bow chimes and very cool. Very cool. but there's so much to be covered. You know, that's the thing. I took taken on like eight different library expansions because there's just so much. So I know here, getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July, and very grateful. I'm very grateful to be in where I am. I'm very glad to be in the USA. I've been here all my life, and I've had the opportunity to travel to many parts of the world, and I found I always find a new appreciation to come back home. And you know, we are facing lots of challenges, it seems like, you know, but I think when we're faced with a challenge, that we pull together, and I think that's what makes us stronger. And not only here in the United States, but all over the world. You know, I tell you what, we've been faced as our whole human society have been faced with all of this crazy stuff, and we're better together. We're better when we're just supporting one another. And so as we get ready to celebrate the 4th, I just wanted to leave you with this, and it's my prayer. It's my prayer for our country that we just continue to look for the good, look for the light. Don't get caught up in the darkness of things that are happening, but to look for the light, and pray for one another, encourage one another, help one another. You know what's coming. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the light, through the night, with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America. Oh, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Yes, and that's my prayer for our country, and it's my prayer for you, wherever you are in the world, that you will experience the blessing of God, the grace of God, the favor of God, because I'm telling you what, we are all going through this journey together in different ways, but it's the same but different. We face similar struggles, similar hopes and dreams, and I found that I need His help to make it through every day. And I'm so grateful for every breath, every opportunity that I have to to just share my gratefulness, to share music, to share fun, and to share the joy that I have. I just love being able to do what I do. We just thank you guys. Secret, I really appreciate your support. Home, and Chris, and Halvard, and Hans, and those who have joined today. It's been very special. You know, we fought through, but we made it. So I just want to say God bless you, and until we meet again, I look forward to seeing you next time. And please remember to leave any comments or questions in the chat below. And I will see you soon.